Well, hello again. It's Kayren Spain of Kayren Spain Designs, and I'm about to start a new project, which is bigger than I've been doing for my YouTube videos. It's a mirror that is very old that I've had hanging in my laundry room. Actually, it was in my New York apartment, probably in my kitchen. And I brought it here. It didn't fit in my new house, so I put it in the laundry room. And I've been thinking I'm going to paint this thing one of these days when I get the urge. And I finally got it, because actually I don't have anything else to paint right now that I can think of that's small. This isn't small, but I've already done the first step, which is to clean it. And I'm not going to need to sand it. It's kind of, it doesn't have a shiny finish on it. So I'm going to put the primer on like I always do when I'm painting wood. This is a wood mirror. And once I get the primer on and the base coat on, then I'll figure out my design. That's the process I always go through. I kind of have to get a blank slate. When I'm looking at this with the green and the fruit and all the stuff that's on it, I go, okay, I got to get that out of my mind so I can figure out what I want to do. Well, this is another decision for me. The other day, I started watching, I couldn't believe it, I watched it for almost 4 hours. The Bearded Woodsman, I think is the name of the channel. And there's this guy with the beard. And I watched him and his friends build a log, really it wasn't a log cabin, a little cabin in the woods. And they started from the ground, digging holes for the post to the finish. And actually, it's still not finished. They haven't finished the interior. I'm waiting to watch that. But his video was 4 hours long. I guess maybe it was in segments in the beginning, but I watched the whole thing back to back. And so I said, you know what? I think I'm going to go back to the way I did in the beginning. And there's going to be however many segments, however long this turns out to be, and I'm going to show you, for those interested, step by step by step, and watch me paint. So here we go. Now I'm gonna turn off the camera, and I'm not even sure I have enough primer. This is my Kills primer, and it's almost empty, but it does go a long way. It's gone a lot further than I thought it was gonna go, so I'm gonna start priming. Okay, hang with me. Okay, this is step number 2. Step number 1 was cleaning or sanding, which I didn't have to sand. So I'm gonna start, well, I think I'll start in the middle and work out. And you're probably wondering, why isn't she taping that mirror? Well, I have learned that whatever paint I get on there with a little scraper, you can get it off without hurting the mirror. And just, I hate taking the time to tape things. Sometimes I do, but I'm not going to do it on this. And I'm going to have to get a smaller brush to go around the inside edge. Should have probably done that first. So, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to stop. Make sure I didn't get it piled up in there. And get a brush that'll do that. Okay, putting you down for a minute. I have to go. Hi. I have to go get another brush. Let's see. What am I going to use? let's see. Yeah, that's a perfect one. You know, it was so interesting watching those guys build that house. And they had this equipment though, way away from where they were building. They had to haul in everything, and it was hysterical. In the beginning, they had this truck. I can't think of what kind it was. But it was old, and it had part of a fender hanging off, and they just ripped it off. And when I saw what they were doing with that poor truck, I didn't know if it was going to make it. They would haul. Honestly, they built the house from trees on the property, and they had to cut down the trees. That was first thing. Cut down the trees, take them to this log cutter or splitter or whatever thingy that would take off the bark and cut the wood. They could set it to any size they wanted, and sometimes it was 2x4s or 4x4s or 6x6s or whatever they needed. Of course, the first thing they had to do was they dug holes 3 feet deep, a whole bunch of them, to put in these, I guess it was 6x6 posts for the foundation of the house. And they were saying they were getting all these comments from people on YouTube, I guess, who were watching it, saying, you should have used concrete, you should have done this, you should have done that. It was funny. And they would say, you know what, we're just doing this, flying by the seat of our pants and figuring it out as we go. And it wasn't a DIY, because they didn't, you know, it was just them in the whole process of building that house. And I was fascinated. So are a million or so more people who watch it. It's unbelievable. I guess what inspired me to go back to my old way of painting where you see the whole process. And I talk the whole time, which some of the people who watch me like that part. Especially my family, some of my children who are grown, they're all grown, married with kids. So, anyway, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to handle my hair hanging down. This is the work. Whoops! And I'll probably get my hair in the primer, but knowing me. And I've already dripped it. I've already dripped it over there on the mirror, but I've got to go get it off. I've done pretty good. I just got a tiny bit on the mirror there, but it will scrape off. So that's quicker. I can do that a lot quicker than taping. And this is an oval, so it would have been very difficult to tape. And I have to turn this mirror and get out of the way. But I have it on my turntable, my Lazy Susan, what do you call it, that I started using way back in the beginning when a neighbor of mine who's an artist told me to put it on Lazy Susan, put stuff on there. And honestly, it was like genius idea, because I don't have to pick things up or have to walk around to the other side to paint. Oh boy, I just got a bunch on the mirror that time. I may get my Q-tips. My trusty Q-tips, where are you? There you are. That was a good bit to get on the mirror. We'll try to get some of that off. what. Honestly, sometimes it makes a bigger mess to try to get it off. And I have to go touch it up where I got a Q-tip up on my paint. Okay. So anyway, I enjoyed watching them build that house. It was absolutely fascinating. I guess it's why so many people watch them. Way to go, guys. I subscribed to it to see. I want to see the inside finished out. I'd love to be able to go decorate the inside of that place. But I know they'll do a good job. And I love to design houses. I designed the one I'm living in, literally down to where outlets and lights and pot lights and lights I knew, because I knew where every piece of furniture was going to go. And I kind of built my house around my furniture because I wanted to use it all. I came back from New York City and I was in a 2,000 square foot apartment up there, and I had bought some new furniture while I was there, and I just don't want to have to get rid of it and buy more. So I designed, there's where I got that. Ugh, I need to wipe that with something else, but it's gonna show. See, you gotta catch your drips, because if you don't, they can show through if it dries hard. I don't want to have to sand anything. So let's see, I got the inside primed. I know, I'll just go back and forth. Whatever I'm thinking, and I've got a little bit of allergy issue. Okay, am I done with the little brush for now? So it needs to go in my water, which I need to move closer. I can't put it on this table. Let me see if I can put it here. But, ooh, that'll work. That'll work, even with the brush again. Okay, so, you know what? The hardest thing this morning for me to do, put my brush back, was getting the top off of this primer. It was stuck, and it was not being very cooperative, and I hope I don't get this. Why am I doing this far away? I don't know, because I'm nuts. I don't want to get the white primer on my blouse. I've been wearing this blouse in a lot of my episodes for several years now, and I love it because it's got shorter sleeves, not too short and not too long, and I can't find anything else like it. I love it. Added it. Where did I get it? Oh shoot, Kohl's. Got it at Kohl's years ago. I like that it fits. It's perfect for my painting. There, I hope I'm going to get paint on it. Got paint on my apron. I should have waited till I turned this thing around, but I already got started, so okay. Now I need to paint here close where I am. So now I'm going to get into these panels, and I'll be able to paint the edge of the mirror too on this side, which I can do with my big brush. You know, I hate all these steps I have to go through, but, you know, it's the foundation. It's always the foundation that's the most important thing. It's true with everything in life. Your foundation, which you've found yourself on. Whether it's spiritually, politically, which I don't get into on my videos, I don't want people coming after me with whatever I believe if they believe different. You know, that's the problem with this world, is nobody's allowed to have an opinion. Whatever they say gets knocked down or shut down or whatever. Either way, I mean, here I go, kind of sounding political, aren't I? But no, seriously, I'm just talking about opinions in anything, in your family, with your friends. You know, it's hard for people to just say, oh, okay, you feel that way, that's your right. It isn't our right to think and feel whatever we choose, because 99% of the time, it's none of your business. Except, I guess, if you open yourself up to making a comment, you've made it. You've made it everybody's business. Oh, okay. We've just gone through an election. It's over. And now we move on. And if you're not happy, you got to get happy, because it's the way it is, folks. Got to accept. I've always been that way about politics. I have my beliefs, and I vote them, and then however it turns out, I go, okay, that's how it's supposed to be. So I'll get behind whoever's our president. I think we need to get behind all this stuff we've gone through the past 4 years of not accepting somebody and making it miserable for everybody, not just the president. You know, I always said he must have a forehead of flint. I just got political. I'll shut up. But anyway, I'm just saying, we need to accept our leaders and get behind them, and, you know, not try to destroy them the whole time they're in office. Anyway, I'll shut up. I'll shut up. Or I'll get in big trouble. And, you know, maybe it'll make people watch my videos so they can come after me. All right, let's see. Gonna keep going. Yeah, this is a long process. Priming and base coating. Because see, after I do this, I'm probably going to do a base coat of my bone white, because my house, all the trim in my house is bone white. So I try to keep that color as my background color so that it looks nice in my house. You know, you have to paint for whoever. I paint for friends and I paint for family, and they all have their different colors they like and the different ways they want me to paint. They want it to go with their decor, so I do that. For me, I'm very, very whimsy, colorful, over the top, but that's what I like, you know. And so you got to do what you like. So if I would paint something for you, I would find out your style, what colors are in your house, or wherever that piece would go, and paint it accordingly so you would be happy. And I tell people this all the time. I mean, I paint for people who know me around my neighborhood, for my family, a lot for myself. But you out there in YouTube land, if you were to ever scroll down and look at all the information where I explain what the project is, and I tell all the products I use and the cameras I use and all the equipment I use, in case people are interested. I've got links for that. But there's a place for comments, and I also have my email address. So you can email me and say, I have a piece I want you to paint. And you'd have to ship it to me, and I'd have to paint it and ship it back. But I've done that for my daughter up in New York 100 times, so that's no problem. And then I would paint your particular project on my YouTube channel. I mean, I paint it like this and put it on my YouTube channel. So that's just to put it out there, you guys. Any takers, I'll respond to you. It has to be something, if you're gonna ship it, it's gotta be not something this big, but you know, a tray, a picture frame, a little box for holding things, whether it's in your kitchen or in your bathroom or in your laundry room. I paint anything, any metal, wood, glass. Love to paint glass because I don't have to put primers on it, except if it's painted glass and I've got to cover over something before I paint it. Then I have to put a primer on it. So this is how this goes, folks. And I'll keep painting. This is primer. Kills 2. It's my favorite primer. It's what I use on all the things I paint. Because if you paint wood or composite stuff, I can't think of what that stuff is. A lot of things are made of. They look like they're wood or metal, but they're not. Oh well, you know what? It'll come to me in a minute. And like I always say, I don't have dementia. I know I'm old. Just turned 78. But I've had this problem with coming up with names or things or movie titles or movie stars my whole life. It's just a weird thing about my recalling things. But then give me a few minutes and I'll think about it, maybe. Oh Lord. Oh, we're still going through COVID. It's December. What's today? It's like the 18th or 19th. You know what? I can look at my watch. It's the 18th. Sometimes I don't know what day it is, because when I get into doing these projects, it could be any day, any hour. I get lost up in this stuff. You know, this is how I honestly stay sane in this crazy world. So I still can't think of it. Not plaster. Some things are. Oh well, it'll come to me. Maybe next year, I don't know. I know if you could shout out, you would tell me, right? Crazy lady? You crazy lady. Sometimes I think I might be a little bit. I'm eccentric for sure. But I like that, honestly. This primer goes a long way. I still have some in the bottom of the paint bucket there. But I thought this is so easy to hold while I'm turning this thing around. I'm just going to do it from here. This is what I couldn't get open this morning, this little jar. I had to go upstairs and get my kind of gripper thing. It helps you open jars. It wouldn't do it. I finally went into my sink where I have hot water. I don't have hot water out here in my studio sink, just cold. So I went in there, I started running hot water, and then I had this little gripper thingy that I also used to open things with. And I banged it upside down on its lid. I turned it upside down, banged it as hard as I could without breaking the jar to try to loosen it up. And then finally, boop, it popped open. I didn't even have to put it under hot water. I thought maybe the paint needs to get a little heat and it'll loosen up. But I got it finally. Yay. I've got a handyman coming any minute. His name's Tommy. He's coming to repair, or well, to try to stop a leak in my brand new green, uses less water per flush toilet that is leaking water, and my water bill went up. And I'm thinking, you know what? I've had my other toilets for 15 years and none of them have ever run like this where it wasted my water. But this one does, and he's going to try to fix. He's come once, he thought he had it done, but he's coming again, so I hope we can get that resolved today, because my water bill is higher than it should be this time of year, because I'm not watering my grass and flowers. That sends it way up in the spring and summer. My bill quadruples for the water. I put so much on my grass and my shrubs and flowers. I love that too. That's another little hobby of mine, is flowers. So what was I thinking about? Yeah, we're still in COVID. Still having to wear a mask. Actually, they're saying it's gotten worse. I'm hearing horror stories from certain parts of the country ordering hundreds of, whatever, thousands of body bags in California. Oh my gosh. Anyway, I see a little corner of this shelf that it's like broken off, and I have some stuff that I'm going to show you how I fix stuff like that when I have a wood piece or a piece made out of that stuff I can't think of. Oh, Kayren, what in the heck? Yeah, I'll get my stuff out and fix that, because I don't want that corner like that. It probably got broken in one of my moves. But yeah, body bags, doesn't that sound horrible? I know they had to do that in New York when it first started, but oh gosh. I honestly think I had it back in the end of January, first week of February, as I flew up to New York to see my daughter Kim. I got there on a Tuesday, and by Friday, I was as sick as I've ever been in my life. I coughed till I can't even tell you how bad the cough was. It shook the house. But not only was I sick, Kim was sick when I got there. I didn't know it. I surprised her. She didn't know I was coming. They were having an open house for the new house they had moved into, and I came up as a surprise to bring her a special housewarming gift. My little sleigh and tree advent calendar that I painted for my Christmas last year, and I took it to her and gave it to her, which meant I had to paint another one for me this year. I had to paint how many more? Me one more, Cinnamon one, Elizabeth one, and I did that half the year this year, painting those projects. And Elizabeth is on YouTube. You should watch it. It's very, very cool advent calendar with drawers. And so I figured the idea was, what do you put in these drawers? I'd never heard of an advent calendar in my life. I just hadn't until the year, was it 2018? I was watching a bunch of Hallmark movies, and they had one in every movie. That and made Christmas cookies. that's another story. But I'm going to take a break. I'll be back. Don't go away too far.